Hello, welcome to yoga. We are going to have a stretchy class today. That is the plan. So let's lay down. That's a nice place to start. We're going to lay down on the mat. If you've got a strap nearby, then just have it nearby. Lay yourself out on your mat and just take a moment to just stretch. Really think about lengthening your body through one side. And then settling back down and then lengthen through the other. And then just do this a few times, just stretching out one side and then moving across to the other side. And starting to take some really nice deep breaths in and then fully exhaling, trying to get rid of that whole breath before making space for the next. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to settle in on the mat. Up to you whether you want to take the feet flat and the knees towards the ceiling, and then maybe the feet as wide as the mat just to bring those knees in, or if you just want to lay out, it's up to you, but we'll start with some even breathing. Again, option to keep the hands by the side of you, or one to the chest, one to the tummy, or anywhere in between. Okay, so if my breath pattern doesn't match yours, then just go ahead and do your own. So we're going to take an inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the breath back to the usual pattern. I'm going to take a moment just to settle in and potentially set yourself an intention for today's class. Maybe focusing in on all of the things you can do rather than what you maybe can't quite get to today. Maybe appreciating what you can do and everything that got you to this moment in time. Okay, let's take the arms high above the head. Stretch yourself out. And then point down the toes. Sorry. I don't understand why the puppy is now attacking me. We're back in 2 seconds. I love you with all my heart. There we go. Goodness me, I'm very sorry. Oh. As we stretch out, bring those hands high above the head, bring them up towards the ceiling, turn the palms to one another, really reach those fingertips towards the ceiling, and then open the arms out. Bring our hands back towards each other again, reaching those fingertips towards the ceiling. Find that stretch across the shoulders, keep the neck nice and relaxed, and then take those arms away from you. And then last time, bring those hands right up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to bring the elbows in, palms touching, draw the elbows down, find that spread across the shoulders. And then see if we can just widen the hands now. So the elbows are still touching, but the hands are reaching towards the opposite walls. Push the elbows up towards the ceiling, get that deep stretch across the shoulders. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's take opposite shoulders, just bring yourself together. Taking hands to opposite shoulders, draw the elbows down towards the toes. And then release, let's take the opposite wrap. So taking the other elbow on top of the other one. So we're in a more, it's going to feel a little bit peculiar, this position. But again, bringing those elbows down towards the toes. Finding the stretch across the shoulders. And then releasing, bring the hands towards the back wall. We're going to take the hips to the right and the feet and the hands to the left. Come into a blown palm on that mat. Focusing in on that right hip, drawing down. Bring that right shoulder away from the ear and then find space to bring the arm over the top. Maybe left hand takes the wrist, maybe not. If you've got more space through the legs, then take that right ankle, cross it over the top of the left. Focus in on the breath, those nice deep inhales, allowing the ribs to open up. And then the exhales, drawing that right hip down and into the mat. Notice what's gripping in the body. If you find your toes are pointing right up to the ceiling, then maybe just encourage a little bit of loosening around the ankles. If you can feel that that kneecap is drawing up, then just uncross the ankles if that's where you are. Just take a slightly lighter approach. Okay, let's bring ourselves back towards center. From here, draw the knees in towards the chest. Think about laying the whole spine down on the mat. Push through the heels. We want to imagine the tailbone touching down. And we're going to lengthen through the crown of the head to find as much space between the vertebrae as we can. And then drop the chin ever so slightly towards the chest. Lengthen the neck. Shoulders back and down. Open chest. And then we're going to extend those legs away. This time round, hip moving to the left and the feet and the hands over towards the right. Once again, draw that left shoulder back into position, and then maybe the right hand takes the left wrist to draw that arm over a little bit. Drawing left hip down into the mat, focusing in on those nice deep breaths. Filling that left side body. And then left ankle can cross over the right if you have space. Once again, using that left hip as a bit of an anchor point. Getting a nice deep stretch through the outside of that left leg. And then focusing in on that breath. Allowing the ribs to open up on that left side. And then using that full exhale to get rid of that whole breath. Again, paying attention to where might be gripping. And then just finding a slightly easier version to take away any tension that might be building. Okay, we're going to make our way back into center. And then draw the knees up over the hips. And we're going to push through the heels, legs are at right angles. Take the hands to the knees. So start by bringing the knees in towards you, taking them wide and then push them away. And just working here in circles through the hip space, paying attention to the core, pushing that lower back down into the mat. Remembering to breathe. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring those knees in and then we'll send them away this time, away from the body, out wide and back in. Okay, when you're ready, pause there. Let's come back to the knees stacked over the top of the hips. All right, from here, we're just going to take the hands to the hips, lower back into the mat, extend that right leg away, bring it back in, that left leg goes away, and we bring it back in. We're going to go for 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the knees in towards you. Bring the forehead up to meet those knees. Come into a nice tidy ball. And then release. If you've got a strap, take hold of the strap. Going to take the left leg away from you and hook the foot on the right side and then extend the heel to the ceiling. Bring those elbows close in towards the body so we've got a nice open chest. What we want to do here is feel the stretch down the back of the leg. That means that the knee is bent and you feel that stretch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're trying to get a straight leg or not. So just finding what feels good for you. You might notice as you straighten the leg and bend the leg that you're actually going to feel that stretch in slightly different places. And that might feel good for you. So take your choice. So from here, we're just starting to bring that strap in, taking a really passive stretch here. Remember to be pushing through that left heel as well. See if we can anchor that lower back down into the mat so that the core is working a little bit too. And then find some length through the crown of the head, just trying to find as much space around the shoulders, open chest. And then up to you, but if you want to release the grip of the strap, see if we can keep that right leg in the same position. It's going to feel a bit harder. It's much more active. We're going to hang out here just for as long as feels comfortable for you. And then the option to take hold of the strap again. Just holding it here. And then option to just release that strap, finding that slightly more active pose. Okay, going to take the strap into the right hand now. Left arm is going to come away from you. Let's open that right leg out to the side. Take the gaze over the left fingertips if it feels good. We're just going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Use the strap and a bit of strength through the inner thigh to bring that right leg back up. Switch hands, left hand takes the strap, right arm is going to extend. Bring that right leg across the body. Option to bend through the knee if that feels more comfortable. Taking a twist here, taking the gaze over that right fingertip, tips, plural. And then all the way back up, releasing the foot, and then taking that strap to the left side. Right leg is going to come away from you. Again, option here to keep that leg bent or to extend. Okay, pushing through the heels of both feet, chest back, no, chest open and shoulders back, that's more like it. Lower back pushing down into the mat. So as those straps come in towards the body, you can start to then release that strap, keeping the core switched on, keeping that left leg lifting. And then taking the strap, just feeling that difference between active and passive. Option to release the grip on the strap one last time. And then taking hold of that strap. Taking the strap in the left hand, right arm comes away from you, open that left leg out to the left side, and then taking the gaze towards those right fingertips. Keep pushing through the heels. And then bringing that left leg up, gaze comes up, switch hands, right hand takes the strap. Feel free to bend through the knee, left arm away from you, taking the gaze to the left. And then bringing that left leg all the way back. We're going to release strap. Bring the feet nice and flat. Knees to the ceiling. Tickle the back of the heels so we know where we are. Option to use a block between the thighs. So we've got some inner thigh action going on there. Push down through the heels and just start to tilt the pelvis. Just rocking. Think here about drawing that belly button towards the spine and bringing the pelvic floor muscles up. So we're really strong through that center body. And then just rolling through the pelvis. Bottoms lifting just slightly. And then we're going to come up a little bit higher. As we do, we're starting to take that weight through the heels. Glutes are squeezing. Hips are beginning to lift. Squeezing the block between the thighs, if that's where it is. Just rolling up and down the spine. We're going to come up towards the midpoint of the back. And then now moving towards the shoulders. On your next one, we're going to stop at the shoulders and we're going to stay there in our bridge position. We're squeezing the glutes, we're lifting through the hips. Shins are moving towards that front wall. Weight through the heels. Okay. From here, we're just going to lift that right leg up off of the mat. And we're going to hold ourselves in position here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Check the hips are level. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that right foot down. Okay, let's go again. On the right side, push through the right heel, lifting the left leg, keep the hips nice and level. And we go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower that left foot down. Stabilize. We're going to walk the feet out a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to work through the hamstrings now. Going to hold it here, push through the heels, glutes are squeezing. We're going to lift that right foot off of the mat just a little bit. We're going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. And then switching out this time around, the left foot lifts. Push through the right heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower down. All right, let's roll all the way down through each vertebrae. Take a moment. And once we're there, draw those knees in towards you. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees. Okay. We're going to rock and roll on the spine. And then cross the ankles, come into a table. From here, just start to move through a cat-cow that suits your needs. So maybe taking through some rounds, maybe sticking to a more traditional cat-cow, whatever it might look like for you. I always think it's really important just to try things out here. So it might be that you're like, you're just moving through shapes and one side feels really, really good. So just enjoy it. And there'll be a reason why you're probably feeling a little bit tighter in one side than the other. And give you another few seconds here, another few breaths. And then when you're ready, pause back in your neutral spine whenever you get there. Okay. From here, let's extend that right leg away. Let's push through the heels. Let's keep those hips nice and level. Gaze down between the hands. Keep the neck nice and long, reaching the crown of the head towards that front wall. Okay, let's lift that right foot off of the mat, extending away. Left arm alongside the ear. Just going to hold it here. Starting to get wider and wider and wider. Taking your time, small movements as we take it wide. Holding the body down the center line. And then slowly make your way all the way back to center. Left hand comes down, right knee comes down. Take the foot out as a kickstand, find a gate pose. As you bring that left arm alongside the ear, the foot comes down, push through the pinky edge side of that left foot. Take a gaze wherever feels good. And then begin to roll that left shoulder back. Start to squeeze through the glutes to get a little bit of back bend in here. And then left hand's going to come down, left knee comes down. Let's go on the other side. Left foot extends away. Push through that heel and keep the hips nice and level. Crown of the head reaching forward, the gaze between the hands. Okay, then lifting that foot, extending the heel to the back of the room. Draw that belly button in towards the spine, keeping those hips level. Let's take the right arm alongside the ear, fingertips reaching forward. Stabilize yourself, keep the body down the center line, and very gradually we're going to start to take the leg wide and take the arm wide. Going to feel harder on the core, all those stabilizing muscles playing here. And then when we're ready, we start to bring it slowly back towards our center. Right hand comes down, left knee comes down. Take the left foot out as the kickstand and right leg comes long. Reach that right arm all the way past the ear, pushing the pinky edge side of that right foot down into the mat. Take a moment to enjoy that side body stretch. And then we're going to roll that right shoulder back a little bit. Start to squeeze the glutes and push those hips forward slightly. to get a small back bend in here. As with everything, listen to your body. Actually listen. Do what feels good. Okay, let's bring the right hand down. Right knee comes down. Bring those feet together, the knees as wide as the mat. Sink the bottom back onto the heels. Walk those fingertips forward. Take the chest as low as it will go. Hands can come together. Pass the hands over the top. Thumbs to the nape of the neck. Spread through the fingers. Coming all the way back out, we're going to bring ourselves back into a table. Walk the hands forward, find a puppy pose. Chest comes down, hands extend away from you, bottom stacked over the top of the knees. Push through the right fingertips, spider up the right palm, and then that left hand threads underneath, resting on the left shoulder. That right hand can come all the way behind you to touch the top of that left thigh, rolling that right shoulder all the way back. And then coming all the way out, right hand pushes down, left hand is going to come down, slide the right arm underneath, resting on top of that right shoulder, bottom stacked over the top of the knees, left arm can come up, and then wrap it all the way behind you if that's comfortable. And if it isn't, just extend the arm away. Okay, let's slowly make our way out of this. Left hand pushes down, draw the right arm out. Okay, let's take the hands down, tuck the toes, hover the knees. Let's find ourselves in a hovered table, just reminding our body that we do hold that strength. Chest towards thighs, sit back into the heels, but pause here. Find that lovely stretch through the Achilles, through the calves, through the shoulders. And then we start to make our way up towards our down dog. Pedal out those heels. Take a time as you lift each foot. Circle through the ankles. And then pausing, take a deep bend into the knees, chest towards thighs, sit bones looking up towards the ceiling. Hands push down, the elbow creases look at one another, triceps wrap round. And then begin to extend heels towards the mat. But we want to keep a long spine. So if that means the heels are lifting, then that's what happens. Right leg is going to come high, three-legged dog. Open the hips to the right, right foot towards the bottom. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. Find a quad stretch, find a groin stretch. Take the right foot through the hands. Take the back knee down, untuck the toes and bring the arms to the ceiling, reaching up out of the waist. Let's take the elbows down into cactus arms, drawing those elbows towards opposite back corners of the room. Chest is open. Strong arms, strong pose. Think about your exhales, moving your hips forward and down. Finding that deep stretch through the hip flexor on that left side. And then that left hand is going to come to the outside of that right leg, drawing the right hand behind you. Rotate through the ribs, so drawing those ribs up and then around. Find space through the crown of the head to lift up, to find more space through the ribs. Coming all the way back round, take the hands down, tuck through the back toe, lift through the back knee. Take that right foot back to join the left, find your down dog. Pedal the heels, wiggle the bottom. Okay, from here, let's take the left leg high. Open the hips to the left, take the left foot towards the bottom, squeeze the glutes. Quad stretch and groin stretch. And then that left foot is going to come through the hands. Once we're there, back knee comes down, untuck those toes, bring the hands high, and then draw those elbows powerfully down as you bring the elbows towards the back of the room, open through the chest. Take those exhales and move those hips away. Gaze comes wherever feels good. And then we take the right hand to the outer left thigh. Inhale, crown of the head reaches to the ceiling, and then we take the twist, gazing wherever feels good. Finding that space as we twist round. And then coming all the way back round. Let's take the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift through the back knee. Left foot is going to come back to join the right. Pedal the heels. Going to make our way into a pigeon pose. So let's take that right knee towards the back of the right wrist, and the foot comes behind the left. Up to you if you want to start with that back knee lifted just to move through the hips, or if you want to go straight down, knee down, and untuck the toes. Start by finding space. So we want to think about the belly button moving towards the top of the mat, so you have as much space as you can get. We want to keep the hips level. So if you know you're going to rock into that left space, pop a cushion or a block or a jumper, whatever you've got available underneath. We're going to start to move forward onto the forearms if that feels good. If not, we stay up high. And if you're really happy here and there's loads of space and you're not rocking to the right, you're not rocking to the left, you're pretty balanced, hips are level, then make a pillow with the hands, bring the forehead down. And use this as an opportunity to body scan. So taking some time here just to feel the body. Notice if the toes are gripping, maybe the glutes are really switched on, maybe you've stopped breathing, don't hold your breath. If this feels particularly tight for you, maybe it's not quite as accessible, then you can always turn on your back and do a figure of 8 instead. Use your breath as you exhale to send that breath towards the hips. Maybe a good time to revisit your intention from the start of class. And hopefully in time this pose becomes easier. Allow yourself some time to just sit there. Slowly and carefully coming out, hands pushed down. Stabilize through tucking the toes, lift through the back knee, engage that core to protect the back as you start to push through the hands, come back into a down dog. Pedal out the heels. Take a deep neck bend into the knees, chest to thighs. And then this time round, the left leg is going to lift in your three-legged dog, making way for our pigeon. Knee tracks behind the left wrist, and the foot comes wherever it comes. The closer to parallel your shin is to the top of your mat, the more intense this will probably feel. Start off by either tucking the toes and keeping that knee lifted, just rolling in through the hips, or you can drop the back knee and untuck the toes. Bringing belly button towards the top of the mat, really find space. And then once you're happy, you can find wherever you're happy to just pause in. Again, another option here, just to take a body scan. Highlighting any points of tension and then adjusting, seeing if you can make it a bit easier. This should be comfortably working towards your edge. Using that breath, the exhales, moving tension away, and breath towards the hips. Finding peace in the slightly uncomfortable. Slowly and carefully coming out. Hands are going to come down. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift through the back knee, engage that core and find yourself back in your down dog. Use this time to do what you need to do to release any gathered tension in the back. Pedaling the heels, maybe just moving, waving the body, chest to thighs, whatever you might need to do. And then bring the knees down into table, cross the ankles and extend the legs away from you. We're going to come down via boat, because it's a fan favourite. Sitting up tall, we're going to extend those legs away. Hands can come alongside or down by the side of you for some support. Let's bring chest closer to the thighs. Sitting up, making that spine as long as we can. And we're just going to extend away and then bring it back together for 10, 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back together. Feet come down. Grab those shins with the elbow, with the forearms, and allow that nice curvature of the spine. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to lay down, just taking windscreen wipers slowly from side to side, just releasing any gathered tension in the lower back. And then finally, just beginning to make any other final adjustments that you might need to before making your way down to a position that you can rest in for a moment or two. Maybe this time to pop on a jumper or get a blanket, turn the lights down, whatever you might need. Well, as we lay out on our mat, thinking here about the space that we have held today. I'm going to take the opportunity to move through the body, starting as always at the foundations. Noticing that by now, hopefully the ankles have relaxed and the feet just splay out from side to side. As we work up the mat, We take a moment to feel the contact points, the material of the mat touching the calves, back of the thighs, the glutes, the back, the shoulders, the head. Feeling that sensory response. Maybe the mat is soft or cool. Maybe it's warm. Just noticing that for a moment. We take the journey up the back of the legs into the hips, having paid some attention to them today. Allow your breath to travel there. With every exhale, feel that transfer, the energy from the hips to the mat. And we move up the spine. Imagine that crown of the head just coming a little bit closer towards that back wall, finding space once again. And then we move from the spine to the shoulders and down the arms. Noticing again those contact points, the feel of the fabric to the skin. Maybe the fingertips curled in slightly. We make our way back up and we head towards the shoulders and the neck. On your next inhale, grow taller through the crown of the head. And then we take the journey down between the eyebrows. There is a space there now. Over the nose to the mouth. A place responsible for so many words, smiles, laughter. By now, the tongue might be curled back slightly. A gap between the teeth, a gap between the lips. Take a moment to revisit that intention from the beginning of class today. As we just breathe in and we breathe out. And we know it is time to start to move the body. Gently awaken. A wiggle of the toes. A wiggle of the fingertips. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side. Do what you need to do. And when you're ready, come back to a seated position and I will be there.